This is the EWN Podcast Network.
Ever wondered how you could turn your side hustle into a full-time gig and spend more time together?
Hi, I'm Vicki, a #1 best-selling author.
And I'm John, a retired Los Angeles police officer. Welcome to Dig the Well, where we help couples navigate the world of business.
We've been married for 35 years, and because we built a successful side business, John retired 9 years earlier than he originally planned from the Los Angeles Police Department after 25 years on the job. Now we spend more time together, and we want to help couples like you do the same.
Join us as we help you overcome common obstacles, and we show you how to make extra income without sacrificing family time.
Ready to dig deep and build your well? Let's get started. Hello, hello. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. It's the next episode of Dig the Well with us. We are excited to be with you again today. And we hope wherever you are listening in, you're having an awesome day. We wanted to talk about something different that I haven't heard a lot of entrepreneurs talk about. Have you?
No, it's not spoken of very often.
Yeah.
It's huge, right?
Huge, huge. I don't know how an entrepreneur is successful without God. That's just, I know, our belief. Yeah. Without talking to God, including God in your business. So, yeah. And I also think that when I coach a lot of people, I'll, for one, if their mindset isn't right, ask about personal development. What book are they reading? But two is I will ask them about, are they including God in their business? And so we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, because I think most people don't.
Yeah, he is the ultimate counselor, right? That's right in the Bible.
Yeah.
And actually,
You're going to show
I'm going to show
your
the picture
right away.
We have this picture in our office. And if you can see that there, it is Jesus counseling, sitting basically in an office with a businessman or woman. You know, if you're a woman, you could picture yourself there. And he's it. He if you try to build your business just on your own efforts, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
That's what we've noticed, or for sure for me.
Yeah.
So that might lead into actually, I did want to read one scripture to kick us off regarding, struggling and all of that and your business. And that is, where did it go? Proverbs 3:5-6, the New International Version. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths right. So there it is.
Yeah.
In business. And so I kind of wanted to ask you, John, because we were chatting before this, that I tend to forget to include him, but you don't. Every day you pray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first thing I do every morning. The first thing I do when I wake up is pray.
Yeah. And what's kind of cool that you started, I don't know what, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever we read that book, it was a book on prayer, and it was getting on your knees, and you're at the side of the bed. I hope you don't mind me sharing that. Yeah. John will,
secret.
And I do it too. Oh, it was the prayer circle, and we circled.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. The book was something to do with the prayer circle. Shows you could read lots of books, and if you don't remember the name, it's okay, as long as the message is getting through. And I pray too, but I often forget. I just get going, and then but I get him up, and sometimes I'm talking to John thinking he's still in bed, and he's at the side of the bed kneeling and praying. So, and that's, you include like all prayers for the family and to him about business.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So I'm sitting there for so long too. It takes a while.
It can be a long time, but you take as long as you need. I think everybody should.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And like this morning, it was taking so long that the little doggy that we have, little Tanky, he was getting impatient.
Oh.
So when I finally opened my eyes, he was right in front of me. Usually he'll like bark or like talk to me. He does this like weird
Yeah.
and he thinks he's speaking English. So he'll do that oftentimes. But today he was just silent, but he was right in front of me. So I opened my eyes and there's just a few inches away was his nose.
That's adorable. That's so adorable. But now that, that leads to, okay, so you're praying. If I forget, I will say, and it's been days or weeks and I haven't included God, business starts struggling and I can't put my finger on it ever. And I know and then the minute I pray, I ask Jesus for something, give me guidance or bring me a prospect even, bring somebody that's interested in doing business with us. He does. That's a crazy thing. Out of nowhere, which we know it's not out of nowhere. Someone will that day, I kid you not, that day, someone will talk to me. Whatever my ask is, he answers, he delivers. That's what I'm trying to let you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
There are times though that I do forget, and it's weird. You would think that it would have been established as a habit by now, right? Like the whole 21 days thing. 21, you do something 21 days in a row, and generally you will establish that as a habit. Well, I've been doing this for hundreds of days, right?
Yeah.
In a row. But when we travel, I seem to forget, and it'll be a few days later. And it's a lot of times I'll notice it because there'll be some sort of a challenge that because there's challenges all the time, right? There's challenges
roller
in your
coaster.
personal life.
Yeah.
But if you're an entrepreneur, there certainly are a lot of challenges with business. And so I'll notice it, like I'll have this challenge. I'm thinking, gosh, what's going on with this? Why, what's going on here? And then I'll realize, I'll think, I need to pray about this, right? I'm thinking, well, why haven't I been praying all these days? And I'll think back and think, oh my gosh, I haven't prayed in like 3, 4, 5 days. And it's usually when we're traveling.
Yeah, we're in Tulum or we're in Florida or
wherever it is.
Japan.
It's just, I don't know, maybe I just don't like to kneel down in a hotel room, right?
That's gotta be.
I think it's that.
But you could stay in bed and lay on your bed. Sometimes I pray in bed. Yeah, I know. I think it's preferred that we kneel, but yeah, you can pray anywhere, right? Yeah,
it seems more official. I do.
It does. Yeah, that's true. It does.
I think God hears me either way.
Yeah,
I think it's more official.
Yeah, that's really cool. Here's a question for you: why do we need Jesus in our business? And maybe you kind of answered that with that previous, but why specifically do we need him?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons. One is you can't do everything on your own, right? Or you shouldn't even try. It's just too much it's too much of a burden to carry. So I think the times that when I realize that, hey, I just need to give it up and then have some help.
Right.
It works. And then the other thing is the help that you're going to get is going to lead you in the proper direction, right? It's not like if I asked a business partner, another human being, hey, let's share the load on this and give me some help. I don't know whether or not that advice is going to be good advice, whether it's going to the advice will be ethical and and have integrity. If there be any integrity with it, I don't know for sure, but I know that if I ask God to help me, that it certainly will be ethical and it will certainly have integrity.
I love that. Yeah. Love that. And how many times have we coached other couples on business and said, just, pray about it, whatever we coached them on. And we don't expect them to believe us or totally, we hope they know we're full of integrity, but pray about it and, do what God says that they should do. And almost always they get going. Yeah. And a lot of times in our business. So that's very, very cool. The role of faith in business success. So I was going to read Matthew. So got some quotes for you guys all today. Matthew 6:33. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. That's kind of what you just said, because you're not, you're asking yourself and other people to pray and ask God. He's going to give you the righteous word. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So, oh yeah. Let's talk about hiring. Like if you have a business, we're not in a business where we hire people. We franchise people into their own business. But we do have to have discernment. There's still a reflection of us, almost like children in a sense. When you're franchising someone, you're vouching for them to be ethical people. So we do need to pray about that. But those of you also that are hiring people, it's smart, I think, to pray and ask God, is this person a good fit for us? Is this a righteous person for our company? And I kind of wonder, do you guys do that out there? If you're on YouTube, put in the chat. I'd love to hear, or somehow message us. And let us know, are you praying about each person you hire or each person or couple that you franchise, whatever your business is? Yeah.
It'd be interesting to find out that, for the ones that you didn't, how did they work out? And for the ones that you did, how did it work out? Kind of like a before and after.
Right. I think that'd be definitely, and in that same vein of thought, we've definitely had people in our business who were not a right fit. They turned out not to be righteous, not to be ethical. They were shady. Let's just use kind of a common term. And actually, God purged them from our business. He weeded them right out like he weeds our garden. They either they chose to leave or we noticed and we asked them to leave. So that's definitely something if you're struggling with right now.
Yeah.
Pray about it, how you should handle that situation, and he will give you the strength and actually what to do as well, what the best course of action is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if you counsel with the Lord and you operate your business with integrity, and it's ethical and whatnot, I think you will draw to you other people that are like-minded. And I think the converse is true. Like, right?
Yeah.
If you operate your life and your business in such a way that it's a little bit shady, as you said earlier.
Right.
Like that,
Yeah.
shady. If it's a bit shady, you're going to draw shady people to you.
Yeah.
You're going to draw people that have shady business practices. So I think if you ask for counsel with God and you take that and act upon it, I think you're going to find that you will sort out your business. I mean, you'll draw, like I said, you'll draw the right people to you, and I think you'll repel the shady ones.
Definitely.
And awesome. Like you said,
we've had it happen. We're not going to name names, but
we're not going to. Right.
Definitely.
But it is God weeding your garden.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can sometimes be sad in the moment because you're not quite understanding. Maybe it's somebody that you just didn't expect. They were a really good friend or became a friend in the course of doing business. And then they do something totally unethical, stab you in the back or whatever it is. And God weeds you out and you think, gosh, or
weeds them out.
Yeah. Whoops. What was my hand in it? What did I do? And a lot of times it's not you. It's been them all along. And you realize they were fake and phony the whole time. Yeah, that's happened to us as well.
Yep, that sure has.
And so another really great scripture for that is Colossians 3:23-24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. Isn't that the truth, right? Things that we're doing here on the planet, also, we're going to be rewarded in heaven for them. We'll be rewarded here too, but also big time in heaven for always doing the right thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Love that. Do you want to do the next one?
What's the next one?
I think it was number 4.
Oh, yeah. Trusting God's timing and provision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me read. I'm sorry, I'm just reading. I didn't get to this part of it before when we were talking about it. But yeah, like I said before, that there's always going to be challenges. And a lot of them are there's a time element to it, right? And most people aren't very patient. Like when I'm smoking food,
Yeah. We had an issue with that with the Super Bowl.
Someone over here isn't very patient. It's like, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? And I just have to trust the smoker's timing, right? It needs that time in there because that's how it works. But that's also how it works in business, right?
Yeah.
You don't always know, and oftentimes you're really, at least I am, and we all are, right? Impatient. We want results quickly, but it's not in our time, right? God will bring us a success when the timing is right, and oftentimes it's maybe we need to work on ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, maybe we're not ready for whatever it is that God has for us, that He has planned for us.
Yeah, and we've talked about that so many times. Yeah, we're like, it's a lot of times me, but we're not here yet. We're not there yet. We haven't hit this benchmark, and it's got to be God's timing. And you remind me of that. It's the Lord has His own timing. It's so true.
And I think, most of the time I think it's me, right?
Oh, that's funny. What?
No, that I need to work on something.
Oh,
that I'm not ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that I need to grow in one area or somewhere. Somehow I need to be better in order to accept.
Yeah, I think I do. Right? You're meaning like all of us, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm saying me personally.
Oh, okay.
If I'm frustrated, like, how come this part of my business isn't growing faster? Why is this part, not where I want it to be? And then I stop and think, and I oftentimes I believe that, well, I need to grow somehow.
Right. That's the best way to look at it.
I need to somehow improve. I need to be better at something in order to unlock that next level.
But you still keep doing the activity though, right?
Absolutely. In fact, I probably double down, right? I actually increase what I'm doing.
Right.
Increase the activity because I figure, hey, there's something I'm missing. So I've got to get better. I've got to do more.
Right. And repetitious. Yeah. Yeah. Doing things. Yeah. Because the reason I bring that up is, again, we've coached so many people over the years and we have so many, well, I need to work on this. And sometimes they'll they'll use their beliefs, their religious beliefs in God as a crutch, saying, well, when He's ready to bless me, then that's okay. But they stop working. They stop working at it. They stop doing their business activity that you still need to keep doing to put food on the table, guys. Yeah. That kills me because they're missing a very important part that you've still got to keep doing the activity. He's going to bless you.
Right. But he's not going to bless you if you take a break and stop.
Idle hands. I'm sure there's a quote on that too, a scripture on that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know James 1:5, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. I love that because it's what we're talking about. Like, you're trying to improve yourself. I'm trying to improve myself, but God's not going to look for the fault in us. Right? He's not trying to find fault. He's going to give to us generously if we seek Him, right? If we seek His counsel, He's going to bless you. Yeah, I think of God as our Father, which He is our Father, right? And your Father wants you to be successful. I always think of that. Yeah, your Father doesn't want you to wallow and scrape for every penny to put on the table. No, He wants you to be successful. So seek Him. He's going to give you the answers and put the activity in, and it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like, if you think about it, just like parenting, right? You don't just, well, some people do. They just give their children whatever it is that they want without the kids ever having to put in any kind of work or any effort. And I guess, if that's, I'm not telling people how to parent, but personally, that's not our philosophy. Like, our kids had to work for what they have, right? It's not that we want to keep them and keep them from having things. It's just that we want them to also see that there's an element of work that has to go in order to
big time.
Right.
We didn't give them an allowance. You heard that on John's podcast episode, and possibly Misa's too. They had earned money.
Yeah.
So we were the firm belief you don't just get money for nothing.
Right.
You got to do something that helps the family. They both grown up really respecting money that way and effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is so true. handling stress and anxiety. This is key. Faith with stress and anxiety to me is everything.
Yep.
Everything. So many people I talk to they worry about everything. They're miserable and they have no faith, and they're not going to the Lord with it, because if they had faith, maybe they didn't need to be educated that you can pray anytime, any day to Jesus. You don't have to do that only at church. I think that was a misnomer for me when I was growing up. I thought I only prayed at church. But I became born again, and I realized I can have a personal relationship with God and talk to him anytime. He's my friend. So anxiety for me, like in the police department when John was an officer, we talked about that in the beginning, and it's in my book that I gave God to the Lord. I just said, Lord, take care of him. It's out of my control.
Gave me to the Lord. You didn't give God to the Lord.
Oh, here I go again. Gave John to the Lord. Yeah, I gave God to the Lord. That's one and the same thing. And I gave John to the Lord. Like instead of me stressing, the anxiety, the stress over, is he going to come home safe at night? I just had asked God to take care of him. And then I didn't think about it again. So, I think that's all you can do, but that's the same in business. You've got to give your challenges to the Lord, give your dreams and goals to the Lord, and ask that he bless you. Yeah. And it's not selfish. That's another thing. I think a lot of Christians think it's selfish to pray about yourself. It's not at all. He wants you to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oftentimes I think, boy, I'm asking for a whole lot.
Right.
But why not?
Yeah. He wants to bless. He wants to prosper us. That's in the Bible, I think, over 140 times the word prosper.
I guarantee each and every one of us has so much in our lives that we need help with, right? And that we would like to have help with. Ask for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but here's kind of a funny thing I thought of as a kid growing up. I know in football, you guys would huddle up and say a prayer, or maybe it wasn't in the huddle, but we cheerleaders would huddle ourselves before a game, and we would pray, for all the players to be safe and not get injured. We would pray to win, though. We did not shy away from asking for the win. And as before I became a born again Christian, that was before I was born again, and I remember thinking, is that selfish? And the more, then I got to college and I still wasn't a Christian yet. I was a Christian, but not born again. And I still kept thinking that was selfish. But then I met you, and you told me it's not selfish at all. I don't know if you remember that.
Not at all.
Yeah. He wants us to come to him with anything and everything, which includes being successful and winning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did you have any thoughts?
I was just going to say, because you were talking about stress and anxiety, I think.
Oh, yeah.
If any of you out there are having trouble sleeping, right? I think a lot of it could possibly be resolved if you would just give more to the Lord, right?
Ooh, that's a good nugget. Yes.
Yeah, because I know ever since I've been doing that, and seeking his guidance, I don't have trouble falling asleep. Right? And I've had some pretty stressful days, and you all know what I did for a living, which is kind of stressful work in and of itself. But I would come home and fall right to sleep. Like if I go to bed, I'm usually asleep certainly within a minute. Oftentimes it's within seconds, huh?
Yeah. John's out. Like, honestly, I say when your head hits the pillow, you're out.
Yeah.
Well, it's partly you drink our Cleanse and Calm and the Sleep Chew. Yeah. But yeah.
But even the times that I forget, like I won't have that Sleep Chew before I go to bed, and I'll bring the Cleanse and Calm, which we both make it like a tea. We just add hot water to it, so it's a really mild, like little tea. And I'll drink that before I go to bed. I'll bring that, set it on the nightstand, climb into bed, and I'll fall asleep before I can actually
finish it.
Grab the mug and drink it.
I think your body's gotten used to it. Yeah, sleeping so well and giving giving your challenges to the Lord, your anxieties and stress.
Because I think a lot of times people, when they go to bed, they're just constantly thinking about all the issues that they have to deal with that either they've dealt with that day earlier,
Right.
or they're going to have to deal with in the next day. Well, if you give it to the Lord, right, you're going to just take his guidance, and that's your partner with in all these challenges. Like I said earlier, right, you're going to ask someone to help you. Who better to ask than God?
Yeah.
Well, if you know you're asking for the help and you know you're going to get the help, right? You know you're going to get it because you act upon it. You take action on what the Lord brings to you as solutions to your problems.
Right.
You're going to have that help. I think you'll sleep better. At least I do.
Definitely.
I'm at ease, right? My mind is calm because I know, hey, I'm getting help. I'm getting help from the very best help I can possibly have, right?
Right.
And now I just have to act on it.
Yeah. And I can't help but think too, even during police work time, we're talking business right now, but you slept well as a police officer because you counseled with the Lord and always asked him to guide you. I know the book of Romans, for those police officers listening, right? That was a biggie for you. And so much of that scripture was like your shield of honor and valor.
The right hand of God.
Yeah. When dealing with criminals. So yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, if you haven't found the Lord yet, please, reach out to someone that locally, go to a local church, and just be open. I mean, I was scared to death. I thought when I accepted Jesus into my heart, this is being really transparent, I knew that I could do that, but I thought there was going to be I've told you this, that there's going to be like a bolt of lightning and I was going to be, maybe I've seen too many scary movies. I was going to be like something terrible was going to happen. That just shows you where I was. And that's not it at all. Nothing like that. Yeah, you're not going to feel this bolt of energy. You're just accepting Christ into your heart, that he's going to guide you. And I'm a novice on the Bible still. So I can't give you any specific quotes. That's why it's great to go to a local church and seek that out, because it's the best thing I've ever done. I mean, I don't have stress and anxiety. I just don't. And I know it's the Lord. And here's another scripture on that. Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Isn't that the truth? Yes, yes, yes. So
That's
true.
what we were just talking about, right?
It is. That sums it all up. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess I'd love to leave with you guys. Well, we'd both love to leave with you some encouragement, and just kind of a call to action, if you will. For us, one of the reasons I sought out direct sales and building multi-level marketing direct sales business really was, I saw it as a way of bringing the God to people that may not know who he is, because way back in the day, we were in Amway. Sorry, I have something bugging, a piece of hair near my eye. We were in Amway. And that's where I did the altar call. Our group was a very Christian group. And at one of our big conferences on a Sunday, they always had a Sunday worship service. You didn't have to go, but I felt tugging at my heart to go. And that's when I looked at John and I said, I think I want to walk forward and accept Jesus. And then you came with me, huh? I think, because I was scared to walk up there alone.
Because of that bolt of lightning?
Because of the bolt of lightning. I kid you not. That's what I thought. But it's been the biggest blessing in my life, accepting Jesus into my heart and knowing that I can go to him with anything and everything. So I think my call to action today, and it was a friend of yours in high school that brought you to the Lord, right?
Yeah, it was an Amway.
It was an Amway.
It's funny that we talk about Amway that way. It's just, I don't really think Amway, the big company, and they've been around since the 50s,
right?
Very successful company. I don't know if I'm sure
the DeVos family.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're Christian. but it was mostly the group that, like Vicky was saying, it was our particular sponsorship group that was very, very much Christian. And I think it could have been any business.
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
It could have been any business as long as it was that particular group. And the other thing I think that we were drawn to network marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call it. I think the reason, which is the company Neora that we're involved in right now, is a direct sales business. I think the reason why we were kind of drawn to that industry, there's actually several reasons, right? It's very lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
There's great money to be made in it, but I think more importantly, it's a business model of people helping other people, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's it.
So I think just in and of itself, has kind of a Christian foundation to it, right? It's always doing what's best for someone else, and when you do what's best for someone else, and you do it enough times, it becomes very profitable for you. But you have to do the right thing. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons or not helping other people, then you're not going to be successful in it.
Right.
So we've kind of always loved that business model. And unfortunately, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, is going after pretty much all direct sales businesses. They don't like the concept. I don't know why they don't like it. I think it's because, like most government agencies and entities, they want control, and they don't have very much control of these direct sales businesses. So they're going after pretty much every single one of them. In other businesses,
and even real estate,
that's what I was going to say. Even other businesses that aren't necessarily considered direct sales, but even real estate that has a pay structure or compensation structure that's very similar to what we use in direct sales. There's only one company that has survived it, and that's the one we're with, Neora. That's one of the reasons why we're never going to leave it, because we will never have to, because they've already fought the FTC on this, went through a years-long
8 years
court battle, right? Spent millions, tens of millions of dollars, and won. Beat the federal government. And that's important, because if you believe, like we do, that a direct sales business model is the right one to be a part of, and you're looking for a company, there is no company that's safe except for Neora. That's the only safe company.
100%.
Yeah. And the reason why I bring that up again is because we're not saying these other direct sales companies are bad. Many of them are very good, right? And many of them are very bad, but there's some that are really good. The problem is they're not necessarily safe from the government. And that's the scary part, right? That you're going to invest your time and your effort in building that and building your organization to have it fall apart if the FTC comes knocking at the door, which they will.
Yeah.
They've already said that they will.
They haven't stopped. And more companies are going to affiliate model or one generation commission plan. Yeah.
So they can stay in business, but the problem is, in complying with the FTC guidelines, they can no longer pay the compensations, the lucrative compensation, back to their distributor base,
right?
Which hurts, because then what are you going to do? You know, as we've talked about before, the world doesn't go around on good wishes and good intentions, right? It goes around, things happen because of money. And you need to earn money to have options and to do the right things for yourselves and your families.
Yes.
And if you're not going to be compensated because the FTC has changed, the company that you deal with has changed their structure, and they've gone to an affiliate model or whatever they've done, that's huge, right? You've got to start over.
Right. So you want to pick the right one. And I'm just saying, we're it. So we hope you've really enjoyed this. We hope you're going to think about including God more in your business. I guarantee you're going to be a lot more successful when you do. He wants to bless you. He wants to prosper and keep you always, but you've got to go to him. You've got to include him. So I know we do. And reach out. Let us know if you've loved anything from this podcast today. Take a screenshot and post in your Instagram story, post on your Facebook story, and tag us. We would love to shout you back out again. So have a great one, guys.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on Dig the Well.
We hope you feel empowered and ready to take on new challenges.
Remember, if we can do it, so can you. Keep learning, keep believing, and going after your dreams.
And if you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who needs a little inspiration or maybe a nudge in the right direction.
Help us grow this community of go-getters. Together, we can achieve greatness and get back to family.
Thanks for listening, and let's keep digging the well.